Hey everybody, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini. Welcome to a little bit of an impromptu live chat here where I am revealing and sharing with y'all all the details of my latest online course that was open today for registration. Before I get started on going in through all the details of the class, what's included, what you need, and all of that, let's go ahead and make sure that y'all can see me and hear me. So let me know in the chat where you are tuning in from. I'm still trying to get my chat to work here, and I don't see it. So let me see. Nope. I have no chat. Let's see. I'm going to try to go into YouTube at least and try to get the YouTube chat up. It's always something, but the cameras are working good today, I think. I believe so. We got both cameras working. We've tested it thoroughly already today, so hopefully at least that part y'all will be able to both see my face and see my hands here as we go through all the different stuff. All right. I'm going to see if I can see it this way, and I cannot. There's no chat for me here on YouTube. Ugh, so annoying. Okay, well, let me just refresh this thing here. Nope. Okay, well, I have no chat. So you'll read me some questions from over there if we get any questions. But we're going to get started. Go ahead and give everybody the over-the-shoulder camera shot so we can show the pattern sheet and everything that we're going to be doing. This is the Jolie pattern that we are tackling. We've mentioned it in the past. I've shared a couple samples in some different Whip Wednesday episodes, and many of you emailed me to say, please let me know when you do a class on the Jolie Sylvie. So the Sylvie, and apologies for the glare because it's shiny paper here, but it is both shorts, or I should say the pattern includes both views, shorts and long pants, as well as info on how to make this cropped version, okay? I have made several of the shorts, several of the pants, not yet made a cropped version, but I'm working on that, and I need to make a bunch more shorts. I'm going to be lengthening mine, cropping the long pants, and so I'm going to be walking y'all through every single step on how to make these in my online course. If you've never taken one of my online video courses before, they're literally a bunch of videos walking you through every single step, from reading the size chart, figuring out how to take your measurements, choosing the right size for the pattern that we're making, how to trace the pattern, how to cut the pattern, how to cut the fabric, how to prep each piece, how to put everything together. Literally any techniques and skills that are covered in the pattern, I walk you through step by step on how to make them. Now, if you have already gone ahead and signed up today when I sent out the email to my email newsletter subscribers, let us know in the chat if you have signed up. So, shorts and the pants. Let's go ahead and read real quick so that you all know what exactly the type of pants is that we're going to be making, like what the style and the silhouette is. So I'm grabbing these size charts here that I have. Very important to note, the Jolie patterns include a bunch of different sizes, and it is nighttime here, so it's pitch black. Let me try and lighten this up a little bit. Okay. So the description says pattern is designed for knit fabrics. So you already know, if you're scared of stretchy fabrics, this might be a good class to join in on, because I'm going to teach you step by step what to look for, how to measure the stretch percentage in your fabric to make sure that that fabric will work for this pattern, okay? So it's designed for knit fabrics, high waist, wide leg pants, okay? So it's telling you it's wide leg. If you don't like wide leg, probably not going to be the best pattern for you to start off with or to try out unless you're wanting a little bit of a challenge or you want to try something different, okay? With wide waistband, it says with a secret pocket. This is optional. It has a little secret pocket. I haven't made one yet with the little secret pocket, but I'll show you how to do that, obviously, in the video lessons for the video course for any of you that want to do that. I need to make myself actually some pants for our December family cruise that have that secret pocket so that I can throw just, you know, my room card in it and call it a day so that I don't have to be really holding anything, maybe a little bag with my phone or something. But the wide waistband hits at the belly button, waist and hips, straight from the hips down, okay? So straight down from the hips, and that's the width of the leg, okay? That's why it's a wide leg. And then it says there's two lengths, shorts and pants, as well as instructions showing where to cut for the cropped leg. Easy project for beginners, a great setup. Hi, Lori, thanks for tuning in. Hey, Margie. Hi, Lynette. Great. Oh, Nancy and Lori say they're all signed up. Rachel's all signed up too. She says she's excited. I'm excited too. I think this is going to be a good one for some of you that maybe already have fabrics in your stash to pull them out. Because once we go through and tell you exactly what type of knit fabric you have, I think it's a pretty common, 50% stretch in the crosswise and the lengthwise. I bet a lot of you maybe have a fabric that will be suitable for this project and have been a little hesitant maybe to cut into it or to try it out. So this would be a good one to do. Hi, Diane. She signed up also. So excited. Awesome. Hi, Tamara. I'm glad. She says, can't wait to make these. Hi, Claudia. Yes, I saw that you signed up. Thank you so much for all y'all's support. We appreciate it. So that is the style of pant and short that we're going to be making, okay? I'm actually wearing a pair of a shorts version of these right now. When I tell you they are comfy, they're super comfy. Now, I have a bunch of samples here. We're going to go through them. I did want you to note, real quick, let's talk about the fabric requirements on this. Remember I said 50% stretch along both directions. So crosswise and the lengthwise grain, you want to have at least 50% stretch. But we talk about this all the time. Just because the pattern calls for 50% in both directions doesn't necessarily mean that you won't be able to make this if your fabric has a little less stretch in one direction or a little more stretch in one direction. And I actually went and whipped up several samples. I'm going to show you one that's pretty wild. It has I use a fabric that has 175% stretch in the crosswise. When I tell you they are so comfy, it's pretty ridiculous. And we actually have some fabric bundles of that same fabric. So I'll get to that in a minute. Great question, Linda. I was just going to get to this in a minute, but I'll answer your question now. She says, hi, is this for a serger? Yes and no. If you do not have a serger, can you participate in the class and can you make these shorts and pants successfully? Absolutely yes. When I show you my stash of samples that I have here, we're going to show you exactly some that were done on a serger, some that were done on a sewing machine. I personally, I don't know what it is. It can't be for the speed because the serger is obviously way faster. But there's something about the amount of control maybe that I have with the fabrics when I stitch knits together on a sewing machine that I, dare I say it, probably prefer. I don't know. I'll show you a pair of shorts that I made for my daughter. They're finished with like a zigzag stitch and there's something, it's almost delicious to look at. That's how crisp and perfect it looks with a zigzag stitch. So I'll show you that in a minute. The other part to your question, Linda, I said no, like you don't need a serger to make these, but if you do have a serger and you'd like to see how to make these with a serger, it's typical of my garment sewing classes, I'm going to have a bonus video on how you would make it with a serger and another bonus video lesson on how to hem it with a cover stitch machine. So if you have those specialty machines, you will see exactly how I use those machines in this course, right? With this pattern, but you don't need to have it. I tend to do that in my garment classes because I find that it is beneficial for students who maybe are starting to be able to make it, right, with a sewing machine, but then you might be like, ooh, I kind of like this clothes making thing. Maybe I should invest in a serger. And so I think that it's helpful for you to see how that same project you just made on a sewing machine can also be made with a serger so that if you do take that next step and invest in a serger and get one or maybe take it out of the box that's in the hallway closet, I'm not pointing any fingers, but I know there's several of y'all out there that have a serger but have yet to use it. I think seeing the bonus video lessons like that make you feel almost a little bit more confident and like, oh, it's kind of the same steps, just with a different machine. Maybe I'll take the serger out the box, right? That kind of thing. So yes, you don't need it, and I always teach my classes on how to make the projects with a regular sewing machine so that everybody sees how it's done, and then the bonus videos will be on a serger and a cover stitch, hemming with a cover stitch machine, okay? Lynette says, I probably have fabric, but I ordered some anyway. Nope, I'm not complaining. That's for sure. So, real quick, the video course is going to include 15 video lessons plus 3 bonuses. The bonus video lessons are how to make it on a serger, how to hem it with a cover stitch, and a special bonus video that y'all can thank my teenage daughter Allie for because I hacked the waistband on this to make her kind of a dupe on these popular, I don't know, teeny bopper leggings that people are buying now from like another brand. And so she wanted a taller waistband that could be folded down, a yoga style waistband. I'll show you because I showed these pants. And so I was able to hack it, okay, with the rest of the pant leg of the Sylvie here. and then give her this waistband. So I'm going to show you exactly what I do to the pattern piece so that you can create the same thing and change, right? Instead of the waistband template piece that comes in the pattern, we make this taller one so that you can fold it down like this in half. Everything is still, you know, fully finished. This one, you know, these kids, everything needs to look like it's store-bought. So I did make these on the serger for her, okay? And you can see I serged it there with a light gray thread. But yes, so this waistband just doubled up and down. So that's going to be a bonus video lesson as well as the serger and the cover stitch videos, okay? But this is the wide leg of the pant. For anybody wondering, this is a size U, which ends up being about a US size 6 or 8, okay? Very cute. The raw edges here were finished with the serger, but I just turned it under, and then it is hemmed just with a very, very kind of spaced out and narrow zigzag stitch, but it almost looks like a straight stitch, but I still have a good amount of that stretch preserved there as well. So I'm going to share all my tips with you. As long as you have a machine that is in good working condition, that has straight stitch and zigzag stitch, you're going to be good to go. Well, as long as you match it up with a ballpoint jersey needle. But we'll get to that in a second. I have so much stuff to cover. Okay, let's see. Oh, hi, Alex. She says, I'm all signed up. Can't wait. I have the Juki MO2000 serger. Girl, that's the fancy one. She says, do you have any thread recommendations for it? So one of my Juki sergers, Alex, is the MO1000. I've had it for almost like 9 years or something wild. And I didn't even feel like I needed to upgrade because I love it. And we've used it to make jeans at several of our jeans classes and jeans retreats in the past, and I still have it back here behind me. For thread, I have right now on it that Wonderful Designer. It's a super affordable, just like an all-purpose 100% polyester thread. And I just put those spools on it. But you can also use something like a maxi lock, or you can go fancier with the threads. You can also play around and like switch the leftmost threads to something that has a little bit more strength to it, like a higher quality thread that's not just like a plain old run-of-the-mill serger. But I found that on my MO1000, it is fine with any thread. You know how some machines can be a little bit fussy? Those Jukis, no issues, the same as my Juki sewing machine. So I would say, you know, just a decent quality serger thread is going to work fine for you on that. All right, Winless Original says, I really appreciate all the videos. I didn't used to have a serger, and I'm excited to take the class with a serger now. Awesome. I can't wait. For those of you that are going to try out the serger making these shorts and pants, let me know if you prefer the serger over the sewing machine. All right. Jean says, I'm raising my hand regarding the serger in the box in the closet. I know my people. I know who I'm talking to out there. That's hilarious. Tamara says, Lululemon? I love yoga waistband like wearing PJs. Yes, so imagine you made these, and this fabric is just like the regular cotton spandex. I like to give y'all some affordable options, which we do have some, just a black and a charcoal gray cotton spandex fabric in the shop right now. So real quick, for those of you that are just tuning in, can you put them back on my face real quick? I'm just going to do a recap. I have a new online sewing course for the Jali Sylvie. We're making shorts, pants. You can also make the cropped version, okay? The class is $97 right now, and that is going to be good for all of the whole week. On next Sunday, which is, I believe, the 11th? Nope, the 10th. Yes. So Sunday the 10th at 11:59 p.m., the price is going to go up to the regular price, okay? So if you want to save some cash and, you know, put that cash into your fabric and materials or your pattern or whatever, definitely sign up before then. It's $97, and then the regular price is going to go up to $107 after that. And what else? So the pattern is a hard copy pattern that comes in a huge sheet like this. We do have it for sale in our online shop. Those of you that prefer PDFs, and these are pants. I'm not taping together all them pages for pants. But if you want to get the PDF, I've included a link where instead, like where I think the product page for the hard copy pattern on my site, I think I linked to the PDF version. I also put it, I think, in the emails that I've been sending on the last couple days. So you can get the PDF version from Jali, and that way you don't have to, you know, get the hard copy version. You can print in layers, or you can print out the size that you want, and you can do all that. But the hard copy, which is what I always prefer, we do have it in stock. Then the fabric. We added 6 different fabrics. Let's go ahead and I'll give them the table. Let me see if I can get all this in one shot. The fabrics. We have 6 different fabrics in our shop, okay? The link for all this is in the description box below. Apologies that it's black. Y'all like plain stuff, so we went a little plain. I like wild, so I got some tie-dye terry French terries. So we have a little bit of that too. So I'm going to talk a little bit about these fabrics. The regular plain, similar to the fabric that I use this, and I think that you can see it good on this on these pants. This was just some light heathered gray cotton spandex I had in my stash. My daughter picked it out. You know, she's very specific, black, navy, and heathered gray. So we made those there. The ones we have for sale in the shop are these two. They're black, and then this is just like a darker kind of two-tone charcoal heathered gray, but they're all the same, okay? They're 95% cotton, 5% spandex, so they have good stretch recovery. And our bundles for this class, or specifically for this pattern, they're all 3-yard cuts, okay? What does that mean for you in terms of the size? That 3-yard cut is gonna be good for you to make the longest version, so the long pants, up to a size GG, which is a size 24. If you are, okay, here's another thing about these patterns. There's so much info. Let me break this down. If you're buying the hard copy pattern from us, okay, if you're not familiar with Jolie Patterns, they're a French-Canadian company. Most of their patterns include something wild like 26, 27, 28 different sizes, okay? This one includes 28 sizes in the hard copy pattern sheet. However, they also have a PDF-only version of sizes 1X through 5X, or through 4X, excuse me, or maybe 5X. I feel like it's 5X. I think I printed this like my printer, you know, messed with this a little bit. But I'm pretty sure it goes up to, let me see, KKLL, I think there's some more sizes. Maybe I'm missing a couple here. But there is a PDF where you can get these larger sizes on a PDF-only version. The pieces themselves couldn't be kind of like layered together to still fit, right? 28 plus like another 5 or 6 sizes into the one big sheet. So they sell a PDF only version of this. So if you are larger than the largest size on the hard copy pattern, which is a women's size 24, okay, a GG, yeah, GG for Jolie Patterns, a size 24, then consider checking out the PDF that includes 1X, 2X, 3X, 4X, and 5X, okay? So a huge range. You can make these for little kids in your family. You can make them for the teenagers in your family. People going to college, you can make them for college kids. Grown-ups that their bodies are changing, you can make it for us too, okay? So a lot of variety, and trust me, once you make one pair of these, you're gonna be like, why haven't I made pants like this before? This is so easy. You're gonna learn some great tips, and one of my most favorite things is the waistband. This is kind of like a Jolie special. It's not like this yoga waistband. Remember, this one doesn't have elastic. And this is the one that I'm going to show you how to do, like change it up. So this is not included in the pattern itself, but it's going to be a bonus video that I'm going to add. Here are these shorts that I made for my daughter out of scraps. So if you have scrap pieces of cotton spandex from t-shirts you made in the past, like from my raglan class with another Jolie pattern, the Nico raglan t-shirt that we've done for guys, anything like that, look at this. I didn't have enough of this to cut out the 4 waistband pieces, so I just added this heathered gray in here. Isn't that cute? I love this contoured waistband. So it kind of contours up like this. There is elastic in here. It's not gonna twist, it's not gonna roll on you, it doesn't move, it's not like just floating in a casing. I don't like those style of waistbands. This here is just, do you see the zigzag stitching on this? I mean, and you only see the zigzag on the inside. So you get such a nice clean finish on the exterior of the shorts. And cotton spandex is literally one of the most affordable and accessible fabrics you can find. It's basic. 95% cotton, 5% spandex, or sometimes you'll see like a 96% cotton, 4% spandex. So those of you that like to wear mostly cotton clothes, that little bit, 4 to 5% of spandex is just what is allowing it to stretch, and when you let it go, to bounce back to its original, shape, like what it was before you started stretching it, okay? So you want that stretch return back. I love the way that these turned out. Now, because these are wide, like remember, they go down here and then straight down from the hip. So for shorts, I will say, if you are part of the thick thighs club, okay, they may roll up a little bit up on you, okay? I kept my hem on the second pair of shorts I made for myself a little bit longer, and I'm gonna make myself some more pairs with them even a little bit more longer because they're so comfy that I actually wear them to work out. It's just that like if I'm jogging or running like this, then they tend to creep up because they're, kind of short. But they are so, so cute. loungewear, pajama shorts, right? Depending on the fabric that you choose, you're going to get a totally different look for these shorts. So let me pop into the chat real quick. Tamara says, yeah, it's so fast with a serger. Jennifer Lee says, I love that waistband. I will definitely be make my pants with that. Awesome. Tamara says, I use rainbow variegated thread for everything. Too lazy to change threads. How fun is that? Oh, let me show you. Speaking of fun threads, Tamara, thanks for reminding me. Here I use kind of like a hunter green thread so that the zigzag stitching pops. If you don't like the look of the stitches showing up and popping like that, just use a thread color that blends in with the waistband fabric that you chose to use. Now, remember I said you can use scraps. Here's another way. If you had a little bit of this fabric, a little bit of this fabric, and maybe some other, if you don't have enough of one to cut off 4 waistband pieces because they are fully lined, you could have done, 2 on the inside, a different color. You could do different color blocking things. I mean, there's so many ways around it, and just it will allow you to change it up a ton. The style, what you're gonna wear it with. Here is a pair of pink cotton spandex ones that I made. I think this was the first pair that I made. I was just testing out the pattern to see if I wanted to do a class on it. Sorry, that's so overexposed. It's tricky because I have a lot of black here, and then I tried to put this gray mat here. Whatever, we'll work with it. But this one I whipped up, and I didn't change my sewing machine needle. So take note. This is what it would look like if you do not use, can y'all even see that? If you do not use a ballpoint jersey needle. Is it too dark? I can't tell from here. I want y'all to see this skip stitch. I think I've shown it before on a Whip Wednesday. Anyways, I have skip stitches right here, and then another one, and then across here when I went, another skip stitch here. It still works, right? Because you don't see it on the outside. It's not really gonna make it so that the shorts can't be worn or used. But that's what I get for being lazy. I was just testing it out, like quick prototype, whatever. I'm not even changing the needle. So if that happens to you, don't freak out and think that it's you. Maybe you used the wrong elastic. You start going through all these different things. I know specifically it's because I did not have the right sewing machine needle in there. So if you hear instructors and designers and people telling you, hey, make sure that you have this right needle, and you don't follow the directions of what you should be using for the fabric and materials you're stitching through, don't be surprised if something like this happens to you. Is it the end of the world? No, you can still wear it. Just know that if you're not happy with that, that's why. Okay? So make sure you have a ballpoint jersey needle. My daughter does not like this look, y'all. I don't know. I like that. I like to see zigzags on my hem. She's like, can you do it like regular so it looks store-bought next time? I'm like, bro, it was just a sample. Just deal. Okay, even we just have it here for a prototype. Y'all see what it is. Okay, super cute little shorts. Those are 2 shorts. Let's get to the pants. Oh, actually, I was talking about those cotton spandex fabrics. We have this and this, black and that darker charcoal gray. In the terry cloth fabric, or terry cloth, listen to me, French terry, I have these 2. I can't remember the colors. It's like raspberry and turquoise, something French terry, and this is, I don't know, rust and indigo or something like that. But you'll see it on our site. We have 3-yard cuts of this. My son and my husband want a hoodie out of this one. Your son said he wants one out of this one too. He said this one's okay, but he likes this fabric better. So the offcuts, this is gonna look so cute. Let me show you the inside. I will say more plush and softer, kind of fluffier is gonna be this one. And this one, well, you can see on the website where we've listed the different fabrics in the description, I put the amount of stretch that each one of these different fabrics has along both grain lines. So crosswise and lengthwise grain. So you can see what you're getting into in terms of that. But lucky for y'all, I made myself a pair of pants, the Sylvies, out of that funky French terry. Let me grab them. And this is what I was saying earlier. Thanks, Tamara, for reminding me about funky thread. Y'all. Look at my little loungy pants. Super cute. They are so soft, okay? And here's the pop of color. I used the aqua matching thread for the waistband, okay? So cute. I love to see that zigzag stitching there. And so think about it. Even if you, this one I was looking inside. This one I made on the serger. Even if you use the serger, there are going to be some parts of making these shorts and pants that cannot be done on a serger, like the technique that we use for this contoured waistband. And it is just so comfy, y'all. High-waisted. It really, just the technique, the way that they draft these waistband pieces, I absolutely love it. You get a little bit of compression in the belly there if you want that. I do. Let's see what else we got here. Lori's asking, does the elastic come with the fabric or is it separate? It is separate just because in the pattern instructions, it kind of suggests two different types of elastic, but we do have the elastic for sale and it's only like a couple bucks, so it's not bad. You can get black or white. They're both 3/4 inch wide elastic, which is what the pattern recommends, I believe, for sizes X and up. I included everything in the description of the elastic too. If you're making the little kid sizes, I guess all the way up to some of the smaller adult sizes, size X ends up being like a US women's size 12. They recommend 3/8 of an inch wide elastic, okay? Now, I will say, I've made some with 3/8, even in bigger size than X, okay? But I also did some for my daughter who's size U, which is smaller than the size X, with the 3/4 inch wide elastic. So I would say if you're making this in anything above a size R, which is the extra small, like a woman's size 2 or something, anything above that, I think you're fine to use the 3/4 inch wide. They're just going to have a little bit wider of an elastic there. But if I was making it for a little kid, then yeah, I would probably do something like 3/8 of an inch elastic, okay? But what we were able to go ahead and stock for this pattern course or whatever is the wider 3/4 inch wide elastic. Now, I may end up doing like another chat about elastic. I will definitely be covering some info on this in my course, but just so people know, not all elastic is created equally. This is a knitted elastic. Notice what happens when I stretch it. It doesn't narrow out. It remains the same width. So this is what I prefer to use in waistbands, okay? Whereas this is a ribbed elastic, and look what happens. It's a narrower one, but look what happens when I stretch it. It gets narrower. So this can be kind of annoying to have if it's something like that, like a contoured waistband where it's going to be higher up on your waist. You don't really want it cutting into your skin if it's being stretched a lot, okay? So keep that in mind. So we are selling these in the little bundles that include 2.5 yards of it, which is enough for you to make 2 pairs. So a pair of shorts and a pair of pants, or 2 pairs of pants in any of the sizes, okay? So that should be enough for y'all there. And that's, I believe, for all the sizes, because, let me just double check here. Oh, I don't see it on here, but I believe the larger sizes in the 1X to 5X were like 1.25 yard for, you know, what it called for. And so I did 2.5 yard cuts in all the little bundles. So we do have those for sale in the shop also. Let's see. Oh, good. Margie says she bought the charcoal gray. Yes, Lisa, there is elastic in the waistband. Lori says she got the tie-dye. You're my people, Lori, because you know we like funky stuff. Let's see. And they're just a fun pair, like in the fall, where you just want to cozy up with some, you know, loose, not super tight pants that are just warm and fuzzy. Love it. All right. Jennifer Lee says, I'm only 5 feet tall. Will you be showing how to make the pants for a shorty like me? Yes, so I will cover all the information you need on adjusting the legs. So shorts, those cropped versions, and the full length. So we'll talk about the inseam measurement and where you will make that adjustment in the pattern so that you make it exactly as long as you want to, for sure. So that will be perfect. All right. Let's see. Lynette says, which style elastic do you prefer? For the waistbands, Lynette, I definitely prefer the knitted so that it can be stretched and it still stays at that width, you know, for the support for that waistband. Okay. All right, and then the other black. Yep, Linda, we're getting to the other black. So we talked cotton spandex. Now, the other black fabric is this one. It's tricky because you can't see it, but I have a pair here to show you made up in it. This is a premium nylon Ponte knit. Y'all, when I got this fabric, I was checking it out first, and I got a sample of it. Once I took it out the box, I was like, wait a minute, this feels so familiar. I feel like I have this fabric. So I went to my closet, and sure enough, I had a pair of pants that I had bought. I think they're like Ann Taylor Loft, something. Like fancier little kind of capri pants that I would use anytime I was traveling or had to do some type of a business talk or something, to wear just like with a cute dressy top and those little black pants. And when I tell you it is the exact same fabric, I was so excited. I was like, oh yeah, we're going to sell this for sure. People are going to want to make a nice pair of high quality black slacks that they can use with this Sylvie pattern. So I went ahead and made myself a pair. Now, mind you, you can't really tell, obviously, because it's black on black on black, but let's overexpose this just so you can even see where the seam lines are. I obviously pre-washed my fabric. When I tell you this thing is not faded in the slightest bit. And we wash everything here, wash, and they dry everything on hot, which I'm not going to complain because I don't even do laundry. So I just want y'all to see it is basically still the same. This is unwashed. This has been washed. It's such a great quality fabric. The amount of heft to it, it is like the heavier. Obviously, the shipping is going to be a little steep. Don't be surprised. But it's because 3 yards of this is kind of heavy. Okay? So this pair, believe it or not, I mean, they just, ooh. Can you even see the zigzag stitching? I did black on black on black. And this pair of pants was made completely on a sewing machine with just zigzag stitches, the whole thing. The seams. And it's something, I feel like I prefer it to whenever I use kind of more medium weight or slightly heavier fabrics because I don't get all the bulk of like 3 or 4 threads built up in the seam allowances. Especially on a knit that doesn't fray. I'm just like zigzag it, call it a day. But yep, look at this. That hem even looks like it's a straight stitch, and it's not a straight stitch. But it looks like just one line of straight stitching. All done on my sewing machine, and they still look super cute. I don't know why people think that if they make clothes just using a sewing machine that it's going to look like like construction paper and paste cut and glued together. Oh, good. Claudia says she got the tie-dye. Yes, Lori says she loves the wild print. Alex says she bought all 4 of the solid colors. Neutral, boring for me, she says. Listen, but neutral, boring also makes it so that you're more likely to wear it out, right? Sometimes we see a fabric, it's wild, it's fun, it's this and that, and then you make the garment and you're like, I don't know if I can wear this out in public. I don't have that kind of confidence, right? So if you make it out of just plain fabrics, you're going to be more likely to wear it out. And that's even better because then you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I need to sew more clothes. This is comfy. I'm getting compliments. These fit me good, right? So this is that premium black Ponte knit. I mean, look at the stretch on this. And when you feel this fabric, you can have this tight on and stretched and you cannot see anything through. So I know sometimes we look for a really black, like opaque type fabric. This is it. Okay, and super easy because it's like a nice stable double knit. So this is going to be super easy for you to stitch on a sewing machine, even if you're a beginner. Okay, so just so you know, it holds up in the wash really nicely. It doesn't look faded at all. Sometimes can be tricky with black fabrics. That's why I had to test it for sure for y'all first. But yeah, we're selling in 3-yard chunks. So think about it. 3 yards. If you're making one of the smaller sizes, and these are all these fabrics are 58 inches wide, except for the one I'm going to show you next. It's way wider. It's like 60 something. But it has a ridiculous amount of stretch. So let's get into it. We said we have cotton spandex, the Ponte knit, the 2 tie-dye ones that I showed you. Okay. I showed you the sample pants that I whipped up in that. Look, and I used the aqua thread to hem it with a little slight zigzag. Oh my gosh. I got to remember to come back here every time I change fabrics because it blows out the camera. But look. Can you even see my little aqua stitching? You can see it there. So fun. They match one of the pairs of quilted sneakers that I made too. Love it. Okay, so we have all those fabrics for sale in the online shop. The last one, that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the 6th fabric is this guy here. Where's my little scrap piece here? This is a rib knit that's like a sweater knit. So if you're needing something for a cute cardigan or a sweater knit or something, I mean, I'm not going to tell you don't buy the fabric if you're not making the Sylvie, but you can obviously buy the fabric too to make other stuff if you like the fabric and its properties for what you need. So soft. They call it cashmere. There's no cashmere in it, y'all. But light, nice and lightweight. These pants made in this are going to be like actual proper loungewear. Most of us probably won't wear this out in public because it's not super opaque either. But the amount of stretch in this, so this is a crosswise grain. Okay, look at this. 175% is pretty ridiculous. And because it's a rib knit, you know. But then it also has spandex in it, so it actually bounces back. It doesn't just stay stretched out. So of course, I only have a few bundles of that, not too many because, I don't know, whatever the amount was that I ordered, they didn't have enough, so they had to refund me. But I made myself a pair of pants of that when I first got the sample in. Okay, One, the fabric is lightweight. What does that mean for us in these wide legs? That means they're going to be drapier and they're going to hang closer to my body. Let me trim this thread. It is bothering me. They're going to hang closer to your body. So they're not going to be so wide leg where it's just like hanging straight down like the cotton spandex would. You know, like a more structured fabric is going to keep that shape all the way down to the bottom. A drapier fabric is going to allow the fabric to kind of flop closer to your leg. So it'll even look a little bit narrower than a proper wide leg, right? Because the fabric doesn't have enough structure to hold itself up wide and open like that. And so it's just going to hang down your leg a little bit closer. However, when I tell you these are the comfiest home pants, I was telling my husband, I was like, I thought I put all the samples in this bin, but I can't find the ones with the rib knit. Yeah, that's because I've worn them 3 times. They were in the wash and they got put away in my closet. So I was like, let me see if they're hanging in the closet. Sure enough, they were. Look at this. I had them on and I told my mom, look at these pants. So let me show you here at the thigh. If you have big thighs and you don't like stuff to be tight on you, grab this fabric because look. It's so ridiculously stretchy. They're so soft and so light and airy, okay? Now, just keep in mind, of course, because it's a rib knit and we're stitching across here, you might have a little bit of this rippling. Mine have just been washed. I haven't pressed it after the last wash. But still, nice, that waistband technique. And when it's not on the body, it might look like that, you know. Once you put it on, of course, you know, you're going to add a little bit of kind of added stretch to it since the fabric is really light. This pattern, you know, they do say to use more like leaning towards medium weight fabrics. And so I wanted to try it out on something a little bit lighter and thinner with that much stretch. This is wild. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And it's so, so soft. I know it's been a while since I messed with a fabric that has 175% stretch. But I thought, you know what? For people that want like straight lounging pants to be around the house, or even, I mean, you can go out, wear them with some cute sandals or something and a t-shirt. The thing is that the fabric, because it has so much stretch too, and because it's lightweight, it doesn't hug your body as tightly, right? In terms of being stretched out for it to be a little bit see-through. So it fits even a little bit bigger because it has more stretch in both directions than what the pattern even calls for. So they're going to fit a little bit bigger if you still use, you know, you cut out your regular size based off measurements, because that is assuming that you are using a fabric like what the pattern calls for, one that has 50% stretch in the crosswise and the lengthwise. So any type of adjustment that you make to those minimum stretch requirements in the both directions is going to affect the size of the pattern. So you either need to size down if you have a fabric that has way more stretch than the 50-50, or you need to size up a little bit if you are using a fabric that has less than that 50-50. And those of you that are my students and have done classes and watch Whip Wednesday, I know y'all know that. So Linda says, how wide is the fabric? This fabric, I think, was like 62 inches or something wild, 61, 62 inches. So it's even wider than the 58. And so you're not going to need as much fabric to make the pants, because if I recall correctly, when I made this one, I can't remember if I did size BB or size DD for these. But I know that when I put the pattern piece on it, I didn't have to go pattern piece and then pattern piece on length. On the full width, I was able to cut the 2 layers through. So this one is going to be wider. So you're not going to use as much to make the pants, even in the larger sizes. Okay? Hi, Carolyn. Thanks for tuning in. She says, I'm new here. Where do I go to get this fabric? We went ahead and put a link right underneath your comment, Carolyn, but you can, if you look underneath the YouTube video, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can click show more and all the information will be there. The link for the course, the link for the fabrics, the link for the elastic, the link for the pattern, all that kind of stuff. Okay? But hint, hint, have y'all seen all the samples that I've made? This is a fast make. You can whip out a bunch of these. Once you sign up for the class, I'm going to walk you through all the steps. Now, speaking of the class and the video lessons, make sure that you download the course calendar. We always put together a little course calendar that has the dates and times of when the video lessons are going to be posted. So you have all this week to sign up, think about it some more, then really sign up, get your fabric, or order the fabric. If you're ordering from us, we are going to start shipping all these orders out that are being placed over the weekend on Monday morning. So those should be on the way to you starting Monday. Then the first video lessons 1 through 5 are going live to all your student accounts. Once you're registered, you have a student account, you log in at craftygemini.com. You'll get an email confirmation that has all the details of where you need to go to log in. You log in, click on my individual courses, and then you click on this course, the Jolie Sylvie, and you'll see the whole course there. The first videos will be posted to all registered student accounts on the 11th of August. So you have this week to kind of get situated, read through the stuff that's there, download the PDF stuff, get ready, get your supplies before we kick off on the 11th, okay? Then we're going to do one live question and answer session that following Sunday. So you'll have all week to watch those video lessons. You can submit questions to me the day before here, the 16th. And on the 17th at night at 8 p.m., I'll go live to answer any pre-submitted questions like we always do. Those of you that do my classes and my clubs, you know how this works. This is how we do it every time. We've been doing it like this for years. So if you're new, this is exactly how we do all the things. Monday, the 18th, the next batch of videos will be posted, videos 6 through 10. Then we have another live Q&A the next Sunday after that at night. And if you cannot tune in live for those live question and answer sessions, don't worry. You can log in anytime after it was scheduled to be live, and the replay will be right there for you to watch. Okay? So you can submit a question, and then you can't tune in live. Don't worry. I'll answer it live. And then when you can, click on it, and you'll see me answer your question. Okay? Real simple to do. Then that following Monday, so Monday, the 11th, the 18th, and the 25th of August 2025, your videos will be posted 5 videos. And then the bonus videos will also go live here. Okay? So, get your supplies, get your pattern, get the class, get ready, and then that is when we will kick off. Okay? Janet says, will you be getting more rib knit? Probably not, because I ordered more than what they sent me because they didn't have enough to complete my order. So, yeah. What I do have is some offcuts that are not quite 3 yards of the different fabrics that we have for sale. So once they start selling out and we can get some stuff out of here, I will measure up and I can list the individual cuts, you know, so maybe I have 1 3/4 yards or 2 yards or 2.5 yards or 1 yard of different fabrics that are left over, and I can list those individually then. So I may end up, I'm trying to look, I think I do have a little bit of a bundle here of the rib knit, but probably not 3 full yards, okay? Tamara says she loves the lives. She's always learning something new. Yeah, it is a great way to kind of bounce ideas off of each other. Sometimes people hack the patterns or do different little things, and then we kind of talk about it all in the live, so it's a lot of fun. All right. Oh, Tamara says, can you recommend other colors of Ponte? I'm looking for ivory or off-white. I'll have to look and see where. I'm never looking for light stuff like that, girl, so I can't even say that I've come across any. Ivory or off-white. Let me jot that down real quick so that I don't forget. Ivory Ponte. And I'll get back to you, Tamara, to see if I can find some. All right. Okay. Oh, good. Jamie says, I grabbed the rib knit. I'm so excited. These are going to be so comfy. Girl, you're going to live in those pants, okay? They're super, super. Look at this. They, like, bundle up to nothing. And it's a nice sweater knit, too. So, like I said, because it's wider, if you don't need the full length, I mean, I think like anything, a cardigan, a little long sleeve shirt, you could do a turtleneck, something lightweight for here for fall and winter in the warmer states would be good. Now, more lightweight fabrics. We don't have any more for sale, but I'm going to show you some samples of the Sylvies made up in other fabrics so that you can see, you know, what other types of fabrics you can use in it. So this was a sample that Jolie sent me years ago. And these are my wild cruise pants. I love wearing these pants on a cruise, okay? It's giving tropical, it's giving I'm fun, life of the party. I love these. So after I saw that these were Sylvies, that's when I was like, okay, yes, I definitely need to make some more of these, and I need to do a class on this. So this feels to me like some type of a rayon poly knit. It's lightweight though, so it drapes, okay? But it's super stretchy too. It has a good amount of stretch. But see how it looks draped? These pants are so funny because on the front they look like, okay, but all the hot pink is on the back. All the flowers are like, watch me leave. Ta-da! Caribbean cruise for sure. I wear these every time we go on a cruise. Anywho, They're super cute, and you can see that it's like, tell me something else you're noticing about this. Why I like to take them on a cruise. Because they don't take up space in your suitcase, and you don't need to really iron them. Hang them up in the shower, outside of the shower, take a hot shower, and let them drop, and ta-da, okay? Love that kind of stuff. All right, hi Zena, you're late to the party. Welcome, welcome. So they are fun, Jamie. Those are my those are my faves. So I went ahead and whipped up another sample so that I could share my personal experience making these out of a rayon spandex. Y'all, if you have used rayon spandex, you know that it is light, light, light. I don't know what I was thinking. I went ahead and put like a mesh fabric as the lining of the waistband to try and see, you know, could I adapt it a little bit, maybe get a little bit more compression on the waistband instead of having it be as drapey as the fabric itself. And it turns out that the mesh that I got is not the mesh that you use in like sports bras and stuff. I don't know, maybe the site I bought it from said, now I get the names confused. Like one is supposed to be power mesh and the other one was nylon mesh. Anyways, they're not created equally. So this is just like sitting in there at literally the same as the fabric itself. So are they comfy? Yes. But because the fabric itself also has so much stretch, this rayon spandex, it's ridiculous too. But it's like a little bit heavier than the rib knit, so it kind of hangs and stretches in the leg. They fit so much bigger than I wanted them to. Like I thought, okay, a little bigger and breezy because it's lightweight, but I absolutely need to size down on this the next time I make it. So keep that in mind. It absolutely works. I wear these with flip-flops. They work just fine. Just make sure to size down. And I think next time I'll probably size down, not even kidding you, maybe 3 sizes. Yeah. So just know, the lighter the fabric and the stretchier it is, you really have to come down, 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 down. Okay, and then the last one that I have here, this is, now I can't remember what kind of fabric this was. These I made for my daughter. With that, this was the first ones that we did with that yoga waistband that she wanted me to hack. And it turns out that because this fabric doesn't have as much of that spandex as the cotton spandex fabric, where are they? As this one, I had to like adjust the waistband like 2 or 3 times. We had to keep taking it off and cutting it shorter because it has spandex in it, but not enough to where the stretch return was really going to stay up. So when she folded it down, it was kind of like not as snug here on the hips as she wanted it to. So yeah, we had to take out the seam ripper, which I am not a fan of because I'm like, girl, be happy. Here are your pants, leave me alone. But when you have picky kids, you can't really complain. I just got to be happy that she even wants me to make her clothes. So I just shut up and do it. And yeah, so that's what we did. We had to bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. So keep that in mind. If you're going to plan to watch that bonus video lesson to make the yoga waistband that you can double fold down like this one, and obviously I'll talk all about that in that video lesson. If you're using a fabric that doesn't have a lot of spandex content, you're going to have to, you know, stretch it more when you're putting it on, basically by having smaller pieces, because there is no weight and there's no elastic in this type of a waistband. Does that make sense? So this is just a hack that we're going to do as a bonus to the pattern. So this one, because I did it on this, and this is cotton spandex, this one too, I mean, we cut it still a little bit smaller, but it has a really good stretch return, plus the fabric has more body, so this really stayed up on her nicely. And of course, I have been commissioned for free to make her a black pair. So that's this. So let me show y'all. When we talk about this being a beginner pattern, for those of you that are just tuning in, I am talking about my new online garment sewing class for the Jolie Sylvie. Whoop, wrong sheet, this one. We're making shorts, pants, and even crop version of pants. So I'm just going through the different fabrics that we have. We're selling 6 different fabrics is what we had listed on the site. I'm not sure what's left, but that's what's up there. Yes, Tamara says rayon spandex grows as you wear it. Girl, I'm a size 5 sizes down. I've made plenty of stuff with rayon spandex, but never pants, right? Because it's such a thin fabric. I've always just used it for tops and breezy stuff like that. All right. Nancy's asking if jersey knit is the same as cotton spandex. It can be, but it might not be. It depends on who is saying it and where you got it from. So if you're just seeing online and it just says jersey, you want to look at the fiber content. Hopefully they're giving you that information. And if you see that it says 95% cotton, 5% spandex or elastane, or 96.4, but you see that it says something in the spandex portion. If it says 100% cotton, I would not get that. I would stay away from it because that means that, yeah, it's a knit, but when you stretch it, it's going to stay stretched out. You need that spandex, elastane, lycra, you know, you got trademark names there, but you need that content mixed in with the cotton in order for that to stretch and still snap back, okay? So I would look to see if you can get some more information on where you're seeing it say cotton jersey, if that's what you're trying to figure out. Ooh, Tamara says she has some stretch velvet that may be good for the holidays. Girl, that would be so cute. Some fun holiday pants that nobody needs to know fit like pajamas. Because that's literally what these feel like. When I put those black Ponte ones on, I was like, okay, pajamas for work. We can do this. All right, let's see. Oh, that's nice. Windless Original says, my mom made my clothes and now I make her clothes. That's sweet. All right. Okay, so these are, or I should say, this is the next pair I need to make for my daughter. This is a size U. So this is how much fabric we used. This is the pattern piece. Okay? And that gets cut like that with the fabric on the width. So these pattern pieces, they are, well, I should say the whole pattern is designed for 58-inch wide knits. So another note, if you're using fabric from your stash or you're buying fabric elsewhere, make sure that you know what the width of that fabric is, because if that fabric is 54 inches wide or 52 or 48 or 45, you may want to double the length of that because you're going to need to cut two like this. So if you don't have the full width that is required for the size that you're making, especially if you're making one of the larger sizes, then you're going to need that added length, okay? So just check and see that the width you're purchasing says 58 inches, which most knits are going to be, but you never know. You know, sometimes we fall in love with a fabric and you're like, I love it, love it, love it, and then you get it and you're like, 52 inches, what? I hate when that happens. And it's not enough. And of course I didn't buy enough and then I'm stuck. So then you got to set it aside and say, yeah, got to save this fabric for a different project. Okay, so that's that. And then this is the waistband. This is the hack pattern that I created to make her that doubled up yoga waistband out of the black cotton spandex. But this would look super cute with a different colored cotton spandex. Imagine the pants. She would never let me do this, but you know what I'm saying. For us, the waistband gray and this, a white waistband, I would totally rock that. You got to start pulling out all your cotton spandex scraps that you have in there. If you're not planning to make underwear or like little bralettes and stuff like that, cotton spandex is just a great knit to start with and to always have in your stash for these types of projects, because you can't go wrong with the cotton spandex, okay? All right, fabrics, the pattern, the samples, the calendar. I think that's it. Let me go in here and see if y'all have any other specific questions. Ooh, Amanda says, can you use DBP? Or is that too clingy and lightweight? Clingy, yes, right? Lightweight enough. I mean, that rayon spandex is even lighter than a double brush poly. I'm trying to think if I've even seen. Actually, I think I have seen people make it out of a DBP. I have not yet made it. So I can't say for sure, but in terms of the amount of stretch, we know DBP has a ton of stretch. I'm trying to think if I can anticipate like anywhere where it might cause you any issues aside from the clinginess. I'd be curious. I mean, I know you can make it. Whether or not they're going to be super comfy to wear is another question, okay? But if anybody has made them so far, I'm going to see if I can find some time to make a pair in DBP, because I think that would be good to show on top of all these different fabrics. So y'all saw that in a bunch of different fabrics, you can make this. If you are a beginner, do not get overwhelmed with like, oh my gosh, what is she saying about this and the stretch and the whatever. Look for something that says 95% cotton, 5% spandex. Grab it and go. Okay? Once you put it together and you see what it feels like, then you're going to be like, oh, duh, this is easy. I could use this fabric for pajamas, for t-shirts, for shorts, for underwear, for pants. Like, this is a great place to start. And because it's a little bit more stable, it's also easier for beginners to kind of manipulate it in terms of cutting it and pinning it and folding things together and sewing it. It just stays a little bit more stable. If you are new to this and you're thinking, I want to go with that rayon spandex that she said because it's so lightweight, stay away. Stay away because it's not a beginner fabric. That stuff is so light and airy. It's a great light and airy to wear, but not to fuss and cut and pin and sew with, because it just moves a lot. Okay? All right, yes, and like Tamara says, cotton spandex is so comfortable. Indeed it is. Y'all, I'm literally wearing a pair. Can you put the camera on me here, please? So y'all can see that I'm not even lying. I have a dark heathered gray shorts. These are the same ones, and I'm wearing them right here. I put on a shirt, but I got shorts from here down, and they are literally the Sylvies in a dark heathered gray. Okay? I love them. I live in them now. They are my fave. Like I said, I just need to make more with like the varying lengths of the thigh part here, so that it can like cover more of the chunk of my thigh, and then shorter ones for when I'm not doing anything really, you know, where I'm like running or rubbing my thighs back and forth too much. All right, let's see. Yes, Windless Original says cotton spandex is also pretty forgiving to sew. It is. It's just an all-around great beginner fabric to start with. So what's the difference between 10 and 20 cotton spandex? I have no idea what that means. Yes, Tamara says, sounds like me on my work Zoom calls. This is exactly what this is for me, Tamara. This is a Zoom call, except not on Zoom, alive. All right, what else was I going to say? I think that's it. I'll just do one quick recap and go over some stuff of the course for those of you that are just tuning in that don't know what we're doing here. We are going to be working on, and this class is going to be done this month, okay? Those videos are going to be posted Monday, done. So even if you're following through and taking your sweet time, you're going to be done, okay, with these shorts, and many of you will be done even before. So we have the course calendar so that you can see when the video lessons are posted. The video lessons are not there yet, okay? We're giving you all this week to get signed up, to download the PDFs, the size charts, get the pattern, whether you're ordering the hard copy pattern from us or getting the PDF version directly from Jali.com. Whatever it is, right? Picking your fabrics, shopping online. We have different fabrics for sale too, and we have the elastic. So we just want you to take this next week to kind of get all your stuff together and situated. The first batch of videos will be posted on August 11th, the second batch on August 18th, and all my videos I post them by noon Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and then the last batch on the 25th, okay? 15 video lessons, step-by-step instructions from the beginning all the way to the end. And I mean, reading the size chart, figuring out how much fabric you need, what fabrics will work, gathering all your supplies, tracing your pattern, cutting your fabric out, stitching it, all of that, okay? So 15 step-by-step video lessons that never expire. So once you sign up for this class, you'll have access to all these videos once they're done and posted indefinitely. All the live question and answer sessions is a place for me to answer any of your pre-submitted questions. There are forms already in your student account. So like say you sign up right now for the class. We have a link in the description box. We put it in the chat. You sign up. You get an email confirmation that tells you, hey, welcome to the class. This is where you need to go. You log in at craftygemini.com with the email that you signed up when you purchased the course, right? You're going to log in. You click on my individual courses, and any courses you've ever bought from me are going to be right there. You enter the Jali Sylvie class, and you can start going through the whole menu, telling you where to start, how to download the course calendar. You'll see all the live question and answer sessions there. The link is in place. The forms and everything are there for you to submit questions. So every time a new batch of videos is posted, you can watch the videos, go back, log in, click the form so you can submit your questions. On the scheduled live question and answer chats, I will answer all the pre-submitted questions that I get, so you can always go back in and watch the replay of that question and answer session. Okay, so you don't have to join in live for that. And in terms of the video lessons, I always get this question. People are like, when are the classes? The video lessons are all pre-recorded, they're edited, so when they're posted, they're already cleaned up for you. You can click play, watch, you can rewind, you can replay it as many times as you want to, and you can also slow me down. You can adjust the speed on the video lessons. So those of you that are more advanced, like you, Heather, I know she watches my videos on like 2x and 3x speed. Some others of you might want to slow me down to 0.75 or 0.50, okay? So you can manipulate the video lessons like that as you want. There's also closed caption on all the video lessons, and all of that will be there. So just tune in on these dates, and of course I always send email reminders to all registered students telling you, hey, the next batch of videos is up, log in here in case you forget or life gets busy and you forget that you're even enrolled in the class. no worries. I will email you, and you can always log back in and, you know, watch the videos whenever you can, whenever you want. So we have 3 live question and answer sessions, as well as 15 step-by-step video lessons, and then 3 additional bonus videos. The bonus videos will include how to make this project, whether shorts or pants, using a serger or overlock machine. So that's just the bonus. The course itself will be taught just for those of us using a home sewing machine that has zigzag stitch capabilities, okay? The second bonus video is going to be how to hem the shorts or the pants using a cover stitch machine. And then the third bonus video will be on how to draft your own waistband to do this style of a waistband, okay? Because if you notice the difference, the pattern itself has a contoured waistband, which I love. But my daughter wants this taller waistband that can be double folded down like this, okay? So I will teach you how to make that type of a waistband for these pants as well and shorts, okay? So that is that. You can download the calendar even before you sign up. That way you can check and see if it's going to work for your schedule. Not that I think that that really matters, because remember, everything is posted there indefinitely for you to watch. The live Q&As are all recorded, so you can always go back and watch the replay as well. And then for those of you that need a larger size than the US women's size 24, remember that Jolie sells a separate PDF where you can get sizes 1X through 5X as well. Okay, so you have a nice big range here, going from a toddler size 2 all the way up to an adult size, I don't know, I want to say maybe 36. Okay, so that's that. And all the links for this are in the description box below. Just click on the product page. It will take you to my site with the info on the course, the pattern, and I put as much info as I can there for you to get, okay? The last thing I want to show y'all here is just a quick recap of what you actually need, you know, aside from your sewing machine and stuff. But I know sometimes it feels overwhelming, especially when I'm covering so much material. But here's really what we need for this project, okay? A sewing machine that works, that can do straight stitch and zigzag stitches, okay? That's the sewing machine. You need the pattern. You can get the Sylvie pattern, hard copy pattern, in this big A0 type sheet, like this. There's 28 sizes included in here. If it looks wild with all those lines, don't worry. I teach you exactly how to find your size, how to trace it off so that you preserve the original. This is how I do all my patterns. I will make this for myself, my daughter, gifts, whatever, and I always preserve the original. So the pattern, we sell it in our shop, the hard copy pattern sheet, okay? Then you need fabric, whether you're making shorts or pants, all right? So I have here 3 yards of just black cotton spandex, so that's fine. Okay, say I'm making black ones. You need matching thread, and I would highly recommend, because we're working with knits here, a good quality polyester thread. The polyester, because it's a synthetic, is going to hold up for more stretching. If you use a cotton thread on a project like this where you're going to be stretching it to get it over your hips and on your waist and all that, don't be surprised if you hear snap, crackle, pop as you're putting them on, okay? It's no fun when you spend all that time making the pants and you're so excited to put them on, and you put them on and it goes pop, 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 pop. You're like, no. Yep, yes. Not no, yes. So don't use cotton. Use a good quality polyester thread. And then one last little thing here is a ballpoint jersey needle. If you don't want to have skip stitches like I did on that one for using a universal needle, make sure that you use a ballpoint jersey needle in whatever size matches the weight of your fabric. For the cotton fabric, for the rib knits, for all this stuff, even for that Ponte fabric, it's not that thick, I would use a size 80-12 ballpoint jersey needle, sewing machine needle, okay? If you were using something super thin like that rayon spandex, you could probably get away with a ballpoint that's a size 70-10 for sure, even a 65, whatever the lesser size is. And if you were going with like a really thick, maybe you had like a wool knit that's not super thick because it still needs to drape since these are wide leg pants, you could probably go up to a size 90-14. But still, ballpoint jersey so that it is designed to work with knits, okay? Yes, Lynette says, don't forget the Crafty Gemini curvy ruler. That's a fave. Let me see where mine is. Down here. This is a ruler that I always use just to trace out my pattern template pieces. If you do any grading where you're adjusting, you know, sizes in between and everything, you have this mini French curve here that you can use for that. But I always use the straight edge and then the curve also to trace out my pattern pieces in whatever size I'm making, okay? So I'm going to grab a couple of these so you can see what I'm talking about. In terms of the pattern tracing paper, we actually are sold out of that Bosel Creative pattern. But you can use any tracing paper, like medical examination paper is another good affordable option to use. But this is what we end up doing, okay? I end up tracing out the pattern in the size, the waistband, the pocket pieces, and that way I have multiple pattern pieces, like the templates cut out. Even for my own self, I'll have multiple sizes cut out because I know if I'm using a fabric that has a ton of stretch, I'm gonna make that smaller size. If I'm using a regular fabric that literally just has 50% stretch crosswise, 50% stretch in the lengthwise, then I'm gonna go with my most true to size based on what Jali recommends off my measurements, and then I know that it's gonna be that bigger one, okay? So I like to trace off however many I need, and you can see I have a bunch here. In pants, I'll do the crop version, which I haven't done yet, so I'll be tracing out more pieces. The shorts version, I mean, look, this is for my daughter in the size U. It's this and this. Those are the only template pieces you need if you're not doing the optional pocket. It's here somewhere, here. If you were gonna add the little pocket and wanted to make some like light workout shorts or like going for a walk shorts, that's it. These are the pieces. Come on. Whew. In 28 sizes, like y'all, I've been screaming about Jali patterns, okay? I got pants, I got the shorts versions in 2 or 3 different sizes for myself too, and one for my daughter there in the size U. So I know if I go like a silkier, drapier fabric for her, I'm gonna have to trace out another one and go down, okay? Instead of hacking that one pattern, I'd rather just trace them out. That paper is super thin and I can just fold it up into my baggie where I put my pattern pieces in with it, okay? All right, yeah, so if you're wondering about patterns and all that, or excuse me, sizes and all that, we cover all that. I'll have a video lesson in the course just on how to take your measurements is one video lesson. And actually, if you sign up now, you can go in there and see what all the 15 video lessons are going to be, so you have an idea of what the prep work is that's going to be posted in that first batch of 5 videos, okay? And so taking your body measurements, using your body measurements, plotting them on the size charts here so that you can figure out which size you're making. And I'll tell you just right off the bat, Jali says, they tell you just go by your hip measurement. Let's see. Use the size corresponding to your full hip measurement. So really, if you just took your full hip measurement and found it here on the size chart, and then you go down and see which size is telling you to cut, then you would, that's a good starting point at least, especially if you have a fabric that has that minimum 50% and 50% stretch in both directions. It says if your measurements fall between 2 sizes to go with the larger size, okay? And then for the elastic length, use the size that corresponds to your waist measurement. I mean, it's super straightforward. Like, you really cannot go wrong. I feel like a lot of times people too, when they haven't made clothes in a long time, or they haven't made clothes before, they want to get so, it needs to be absolutely perfect. One, we're working with stretch knits. There's a lot of wiggle room there. It's not down to the millimeter. Trust me. If it stretches a little bit more, a little bit less, you're not even going to feel it. So if you just stick to the basic kind of checklist of what to measure on your body, what to pick from the thing, you're going to have a good, decent pair of pants that are actually wearable. And that's the main thing. Once you get to that point, then you can start fine tuning. Okay, let me make another one. That fabric was a little bit flimsy. Let me go with something a little bit more stable. And so that will then give you kind of a starting reference point to where you can go up or down from there. But I feel like a lot of times we put so much pressure on ourselves to make that first pair perfect that then most of the time you don't even end up making the first pair. So we don't want to do that. We want to start somewhere, make a pair, and then be like, oh my gosh, I made pants. You're going to be running around, jumping around with your pants and your shorts, telling everybody, I made these. Trust me, that's the best feeling ever, okay? All right, that's going to be it for tonight, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your great questions. I hope to see you in the class. Let us know in the chat as we get out of here. If you signed up for the class, let us know in the chat. That way, some friends that we have here who might be on the fence might be like, you know what? Let's join the fun. Why not? Rachel's saying she likes my shirt. Did you make that? I did not, but I was telling my husband before we went live, I was like, I need to ask these people for all the V-neck patterns, y'all, because my neck is looking... I was like, I look so cute today with this V-neck shirt. So if you have some tried and true V-neck patterns, I'm making my whole wardrobe, definitely let me know in the chat box below, because this right here is giving me all the cutesy vibes I need. But yes, no, it's like an Old Navy shirt, $5 or something. All right. Thanks everybody for tuning in. I hope to see you in the class, and I'll be back this week to talk a little bit more about this class, share some more info. So if you have friends that you think might want to sign up for this, tell them to subscribe to the Crafty Gemini YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram because I'm posting a lot this week about the Jolie Sylvie. I'll be sharing some tips. We'll be doing some more stuff. I might even make a pair to show y'all some of the steps or something. I don't know. But we're going to be plugging this class so that as many people as possible can sign up for the class while the $97 early bird sale price is still available. Remember, you have 1 week. August the 10th, next Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time, the price is going up. So save some dollars so you can put that to your fabric or your pattern and get in on the early bird sale price. The link is below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Good night, everybody.